Respected Directorate General of Shipping, Nautical Advisor Captain Asad, Principal Officers, Captain Panda, ex-Nautical Advisor, Captain Bazin, seniors, friends, and colleagues from the industry, warm good morning to you all. In fact, we all proudly claim that we belong to one of the most sustainable industries. And the facts and figures are supporting us. Maybe of the 59 international conventions under IMO, around 21 are related with environment itself. And from the design to construction to maintenance to management to ship recycling, every sector is governed through some kind of regimes. Either it could be a regulatory or through industry practices. And perhaps these are something which not many industries can claim. And the facts are also before us of the 12 billion plus tons of cargo transferred through the seas, 99.99% reaches safely. With such kind of track records, we should also realize that this claim or this statement is intact as far as every element in that chain is in place. In other words, even the failure from one of the elements could have a disastrous consequence. We are all proud to say that the IOPP or the 15 ppm equipment, which is for the operational control of the oil discharge from the ships, has got wonderful track record of more than several decades. We say that, I can even personally say that as a chief engineer, in my time at least, not even a drop of oil might have gone from my ship. That is guaranteed through this kind of 15 ppm, which ensures that nothing more than 50 m goes out of a ship. So if you see, convert it into figures, this 15 ppm means if 24 hours the equipment is operated, also around 1 to 2 liters of oil discharged from a ship a day, the maximum 300 to 350 liters annually. This is comparatively minuscule, and it's a great figure to listen about. But just see the other way around. 2002, just see the case of Prestige. The kind of oil which it discharged was 64,000 cubic meters. In other words, through this one incident, the impact on the environment is much, much more than the operational impact of the entire shipping fleet, maybe from 2002 to 2025, 23 years. In other way around, whatever good work we have done through these 23 years or whatever is there, just undone by one incident. This is not the case of Prestige. Just see the case in 2017 in Chennai. Don Kanchipuram collides with the BW map. And as per official record itself, 196 meter cube of oil was discharged. I think Captain Mohid will be there to certify the exact figures. But the thing is that the entire ship operations in the coast of India for several decades could have done that kind of damage through one incident. That means if one of the element somewhere is missing, the consequences is disastrous. So the claim of our sustainability goes for a toss. So what exactly happened in case of Prestige? The Prestige was an incident. The next day itself, the master was arrested and jailed. It goes on, litigations went on, the claims went on. But if you see, The cleanup cost alone was 2 billion, but the insurance of that vessel was a mere 20 million. But the fact is that as soon as the vessel left the Dunkirk, the Italian port, the vessel was showing symptoms of unhealthy situation. The master contacted over 20 ports as a port of refuge so that immediate repairs could save his vessel. But not even one port was ready to accept that vessel. Not to that, in Spain, they spent a special team to pull this vessel out into high seas. End of the day, around 110 nautical miles away, the vessel broke apart. And next day, when the whole blanket of heavy oil came to the shore of Galicia, the people realized what exactly happened. Today, many may not admit, but many realize that that was one of the historical blunder might have done by some kind of administration or some kind of government at that point of time. Had, in all probability, a timely intervention in the so-called golden hours was conducted, perhaps the situation could have been different. We say that when we meet with an accident in humans, the golden hours intervention saves almost 60 to 70% of the lives. Same is the case with ships. If there's a timely intervention, a professional intervention with proper shore support, could in fact save around 60 to 70% of the real casualties. So that is where the relevance of this kind of professional engagement or the so-called the emergency response or even to the extent of the salvage comes into the picture. And from that perspective, I must congratulate our team from the DG Shipping as well as the people to realize the quantum, the impact of this kind of incidents and the need of the hour, how to administration, how to take step forward to have some kind of institutionalized mechanism to have a plan B in case of our plan A fails. That is essential, and from that part, I believe this kind of workshop will be a great step toward that. So before I end, I honestly must admit, being part of the administration for the last 20, 23 years and have been seen on the ground several of the incidents, I'm not a fan of this so-called IG club or insurance club or so-called professional salvers. Because my experience, I'm talking about from my experience, is entirely different. I will end with one small incident which I was personally involved with. A naphtha carrier, Indian ship, a major leak into the engine room explosion, the engineer dies, the ships become disabled, floating. Finally, they were asking for the port of refuge. After repeated intervention from the DG Shipping, finally the port sends the tugs and the vessel was taken and anchored in one of the southern ports. The next day itself, due to the Coast Guard intervention as well as with the fishing community support, the body was required and the people who were there were evacuated and the vessel was anchored safely. On the third day, the P&I correspondents and the team arrives along with some team of salvage good. I'm personally involved for the next 45 days. The vessel with full loaded with naphtha in a highly situation, immobilized, lying in the anchorage with high risk. What they could do or what they did was staying in the 5-star hotel in the morning, get to the boat, put the packaged food, rest I do not know, take the tugboat, go for a joyride, come back 45 days, nothing more. And finally, the immigration. Sometimes you feel that the immigration also do some good work, Immigration went into the scene. They came and asked that these are all foreigners. Every other day they are going for a round. What is this? I said, I don't know. Next day they issued a notice to them. You exactly say what is your roadmap. When are you going to do the salvage of this vessel? Until then you give every day progress report to us. Otherwise we are not going to give you the permission. Situation became violent. The tussle goes between the owner, insurer, P&I, I don't know what not. The salvos abandons the vessel and goes off. Finally, this vessel, this entire naphtha carrier, cargo was secured, and the vessel was salvaged at that point of time by local people using the local resources with a fraction of the amount quoted by the salvors, so-called experienced responsible salvors. So these are the facts I'm talking about. So people can be fan of anything, but the fact is that salvage is a professional business. Let's be honestly say that the marine casualties should not happen. And it is some of the nightmare for all sides. But let's be honest and candid. If such an incident happens, it also throws open several opportunities for the professional expertise to come into the picture, and which will be a win-win situation for both sides. In other words, the building the capacity to deal with Plan B or the emergency response is an integral part of the ship operations. Without that, we cannot claim that we are a sustainable industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being such good number being here and going to be discussing some of the very sensitive issues. Thank you very much, and on behalf of the administration, let me congratulate again for the CMMI and the other team for coming up for doing such kind of collaborative efforts, which will make the industry much safer, much sustainable, and we can still proudly say that we belong to a sustainable industry. Thank you.